Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled Night Call. Let's get straight into the storyline. The story begins by showing a dog who keeps barking at a door because apparently someone is breaking the lock. Soon, the door is opened, and it turns out that the dog has been trapped all day because the lock is broken. Here, we are introduced to a worker named Matey, who is a locksmith. The homeowner previously asked Matey to unlock the door because their dog had been stuck there all day. After finishing his job, Matey rushed home. However, on the way, there were a lot of people who were protesting because 3 days ago, a police officer shot a black activist. Because of this, people, especially black people, took to the streets and filled the entire city. A few hours later, Matey finally arrived in front of his rented house. At the same time, a woman contacted him. Apparently, the woman wanted to use Matey's services because her apartment was locked and could not be opened. Matey immediately took down the woman's name and address and headed there. Long story short, Matey arrived at the woman's apartment and discovered her name was Claire. Before unlocking the apartment, Matey asked Claire to show her ID card. Apparently, Matey asked for an ID card because he accidentally helped a thief break into a house a year ago. Claire replied that her bag, ID card, and other items were inside the apartment. However, to convince Matey, she told him that she had a broken black punching bag and that it was something that was rarely found in other people's apartments. Fortunately, Matey believed Claire and quickly got to work on unlocking the lock.
Toi, c'est comment?
Madi.
A few minutes later, Matey opened it, but he asked Claire for her ID card, which she said she had left inside.
J'arrive.
Not long after, Claire came out carrying a garbage bag. She said she would take the rubbish downstairs and go to the ATM, as she didn't have the cash to pay Matey. Meanwhile, Matey was asked to wait inside, and Claire said she had put her ID card on the table. Having been invited in, Matey hurried inside while waiting for Claire. However, inside, he did not see Claire's ID card on the table, but when he saw the broken black punching bag, Matey was convinced that this apartment belonged to Claire. After a while, Claire contacted Matey, who sounded very panicked. Claire asked Matey to leave the apartment right away. However, at the same time, a mafia member named Sam appeared. Without further ado, Sam approached Matey and attacked him brutally. Sam intended to finish Matey off by strangling him. However, luckily, Matey was able to grab a screwdriver and finish Sam off. After Sam is killed, Matey is confused about what really happened. Why was he suddenly attacked? Matey is also unable to contact Claire because his mobile phone was damaged during the fight. Not wanting to go to jail, he finally intends to clean up the crime scene before disappearing. Then, Matey went to a shop near the apartment to buy a cleaner. He even borrowed the shopkeeper's mobile phone to contact Claire, but unfortunately, Claire's phone was no longer active. After getting the cleaning liquid, Matey returned to the apartment. There, he still couldn't believe that in his life, he had never killed anyone until now. However, at the same time, 2 members of the mafia, Sam's colleagues, arrived. Matey quickly hid under the bed. The 2 mobsters were certainly shocked to see Sam dead, plus their boss's money that was kept in the punching bag had also disappeared. It was revealed that Claire was just setting up Matey. The apartment didn't belong to Claire but to Sam, the dead mobster. Meanwhile, the black plastic bag previously carried by Claire was not filled with rubbish, but with money belonging to the mafia boss, who was kept in a punching bag. One of the mob members then finds the cleaning fluid, so they are convinced that the perpetrator who killed Sam must still be in the apartment. While they are searching, Matey emerges from hiding and rushes to his car. Unfortunately, the car Matey was traveling in broke down, and Matey was eventually caught by them. In short, Matey was taken to the headquarters and confronted by a mob boss named Yannick. Yannick asked where the money was and why Matey dared to steal it. Matey swore he didn't know about the money and was just being set up. Matey also recounted her chronology, including that she was just a locksmith. However, Yannick, who did not believe him, decided to finish him off brutally.
Je suis juste un putain de serrurier.
Dis Bala, serrurier cambrioleur.
Je vous jure.
Yannick again asked Mady if he was willing to tell the truth, and he immediately nodded.
Maintenant. La vérité, ok?
In the end, Yannick told his men to remove the duct tape covering Mady's mouth. But when he opened it, Mady immediately swore that what he said before was the truth. Claire was the real culprit who had taken Yannick's money, while he was just an ordinary locksmith who knew nothing. Yannick began to believe Mady until one of his men tried to ask about the perpetrator's characteristics. This subordinate is named Theo, and Theo is the person Yannick trusts the most.
C'est ce qu'elle m'a dit. Aux épaules, pas plus de 30 ans.
Blanche, noire, rebeu.
Pas d'accent.
After mentioning the perpetrator's characteristics, Yannick's group was convinced that the culprit was a woman of the night that Sam often slept with. However, the problem was that Sam often changed partners. In the end, Yannick sent Theo and one of his men to take Mady to the prostitution place that Sam used to visit. The goal was to show Mady which woman had stolen their money. Before that, Yannick also showed evidence of a screwdriver that Mady used to finish off Sam. So, if Mady dares to run away, he will definitely be hunted down by Yannick's group, including the police.
Qui font chier.
In short, Theo and one of his colleagues took Mady to a prostitution place, according to Yannick's orders. On the way, Theo said Mady should never have messed with their group. Then, Theo unlocked his mobile phone, which Mady accidentally saw. Arriving at the destination, Theo immediately told his partner to take Mady to find the woman who stole their money, while Theo would wait outside. Then, one by one, the woman in each room was looked at in detail, but Mady never found her. At one point, there was a policeman there. Feeling that he had been disturbed, the policeman immediately attacked Theo's colleague, and a fight broke out between them. When he was about to leave, Mady accidentally listened to Theo's conversation, who was calling someone. On the phone, it turns out that Theo is contacting Claire. In fact, Theo has been conspiring with Claire to steal the money. At the same time, Theo was surprised by the policeman's fall from above. Theo realized that Mady had been listening to his conversation at that moment. Afterwards, Theo invited his colleague to move the policeman inside while Mady was asked to wait above. After the policeman was moved, Theo told his colleague to wait in the car while he went to Mady to find Claire again. But apparently, Theo intended to finish Mady off because he realized that Mady already knew everything. Mady was almost caught until they finally fell towards the parking lot. Fortunately, Mady's falling position was on top, so he could get back up. Mady also took Theo's mobile phone and ran away from the place. But not long after, Theo got up and chased Mady again. There was a chase. Mady took the bicycle while Theo tried to stop him with gunfire. In the end, Mady managed to escape the chase. In short, Theo returned home to the headquarters with one of his colleagues. Here, Theo borrowed his colleague's mobile phone to contact Yannick. Theo told him that Mady had attacked him and wanted to run away, so Theo was forced to shoot him. Unfortunately, Mady managed to escape, but Theo promised to keep looking for him. Hearing this, Yannick asked Theo to find Mady right now. The scene moved to Mady, who was hiding somewhere while holding Theo's mobile phone. Mady, who remembered the phone's lock pattern, could easily open it. Then, Mady tried to find Yannick's number to tell him about the real incident. Unfortunately, Yannick's number was not on the phone. At the same time, Claire sent a message to Theo's mobile phone, asking where he was. Mady immediately replied to the message by pretending to be Theo, and asked her to meet him at a nightclub called Boucan. Mady also asked Claire not to forget to bring all her money. Claire, who thought it was Theo, immediately agreed to the request and promised to arrive within 30 minutes. In short, Mady waited on a quiet street, the road leading to Boucan nightclub. Soon after, Mady saw Claire and immediately followed her from behind. However, just as Mady was about to immobilize Claire, he was approached by some protesters. Those people invited Mady to join the protest, considering there was a massive action tonight. Mady said he couldn't join the protest because he had important work to do. When he looked back at Claire, she had already entered the nightclub. Shortly after, Mady tried to enter the club, but he was blocked by several security guards. Apparently the nightclub was for members only, and Mady, of course, did not have a membership card. However, Mady argued that he was a plumber who was told to fix the toilet. Fortunately, the security guards believed him, and he was let in. Once inside, Mady saw Claire waiting. He immediately texted Claire and asked her to meet him in the back storeroom. However, when Claire entered the back warehouse, she received a call from a new number. The person calling her was Theo. Theo says his mobile phone has been lost and warns Claire not to trust anyone. Finally, Claire realized that she was being framed. But at the same time, Mady suddenly attacked Claire and tied her to a chair, then asked her where the money she had stolen was.
C'est où l'argent? De l'argent!
Je fais pas toujours ce qu'on me dit.
Claire replied that she didn't have the money with her. Mady then explained that if he didn't get the money, Yannick, the mafia boss, would kill him. Hearing all that, Claire apologized because she never intended to trap Mady. However, Mady is so upset with Claire that he tortures her.
Jamais je vais tirer. Putain!
After that, Mady began to feel sorry. He immediately treated Claire's hand again. It was then revealed that Claire's real name was Julie. Julie was forced to steal the money to free her brother from Yannick's group. Her brother Theo wants to stop being an evil mobster, but Yannick certainly won't let Theo go.
Théo, c'est mon frère.
Therefore, Julie invites Theo to take all of Yannick's money together. That way, Julie and her brother can escape abroad using the money. Meanwhile, Yannick will surely go bankrupt because he no longer has power without his money. At the same time, there was a sudden knock on the warehouse door. Mady immediately covered Julia's mouth. They realized that it was Theo who had come. Mady begged Julia not to reveal his whereabouts. Mady promised that if Theo stopped hunting him, he wouldn't tell Yannick about Theo's betrayal either. In short, Julia opened the door, and Theo immediately asked why she had taken so long to open it. Julia replied that she was so panicked that her hands were shaking. Then, Julia asks Theo to stop chasing Mady and suggests they run away before Yannick finds out what they did.
J'ai fait de la merde, mais c'est fait maintenant. Donc on se casse, putain.
Le rendez-vous ici, c'est qu'il est pas loin.
Théo, écoute-moi. Écoute-moi.
Finally, Theo agreed. They promised to meet at the station tomorrow at 6 a.m. Apparently, they plan to escape to the Netherlands, specifically to the city of Amsterdam.
On se retrouve à Gare du Nord à 6 heures.
After that, Theo took Julia to the bus to get the money, while Theo would return to the headquarters so Yannick would not be suspicious. However, it turned out that Theo didn't return to headquarters. Instead, he returned to the nightclub to hunt down Mady. On the other hand, Mady, who was about to run away, met a guard. The guard told Mady to fix the leaking water. We know that Mady previously claimed to be a plumber, so he was asked to fix the leaking water in the kitchen.
Je crois que je vois le problème.
Theo suddenly came when Mady was fixing the water and immediately cornered him. Here, Theo apologized that he must to finish Mady off. Fortunately, when Theo was caught off guard, Mady managed to escape and rush away. A chase ensues until Mady gets into a crowd of protesting people. The protesters who saw Mady injured immediately asked if he was okay. Mady said that he had just been tortured by a blonde policeman while pointing at Theo. Of course, Theo was immediately surrounded by the protesters until he finally fired his gun upwards. After that, a chase ensued, as Theo would never stop chasing Mady. On one occasion, Mady broke through the police barricade until he had to be arrested. Meanwhile, Theo, who saw this, chose to avoid it by walking in the other direction. Unfortunately, Theo was also stopped by the police. He tried to escape but was eventually arrested. Back to Mady, who was about to be taken to the police station. Before that, a police chief tried to check Mady's face, but he let Mady be arrested after seeing it. When Mady is already in the car, it turns out that he and Theo are in the same car. On the other hand, the police chief turns out to be Yannick's henchman. He immediately informs them that Mady, the person Yannick was looking for, is now being transported to the police station. On the way, Mady and Theo glanced at each other, unable to believe they could be in the same car. 30 minutes later, the police car carrying Mady and Theo was suddenly hit from the side. As it turned out, it was Yannick's group. They were surprised to see Theo in the car, but immediately took Mady and Theo to the headquarters. Long story short, Mady, who had been caught, was immediately confronted by Yannick, the mafia boss. Yannick asks Mady why he tried to escape and whether he got the money. Mady was confused. If he complained about Theo, then Theo would definitely be killed immediately. However, if he kept quiet, he would be the victim. At the same time, Theo tries to corner Mady, hoping that Yannick will finish him. In the end, Mady says that Theo is the mastermind behind the theft of the money. At first, Yannick doesn't believe him and intends to finish Mady off.
Son téléphone, regardez son téléphone.
However, Mady said that if Yannick doesn't believe it, he can check Theo's mobile phone and see his last gallery. When Theo's mobile phone was checked, it turned out that Mady had recorded Theo's conversation with his sister while in the warehouse. In the recording, they discussed their plan to escape to Amsterdam tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. After finding out everything, Yannick quickly duct-taped Theo's face and left him to die horribly.
Promets-moi que tu lui feras rien.
Mady could not bear it because, indirectly, Theo was killed because he had complained to Yannick. Later, Yannick thanked Mady for telling him everything. Now, Yannick will release Mady, but after this, he must disappear and never return.
Ça, je te le rends.
Mady was immediately taken by Yannick's men to a place. He then got into his car and was about to rush home. However, before that, he pondered, not expecting that he would have to deal with such a terrible mafia. Soon, he thought about Julie's safety. He realized that Julie would definitely be kidnapped by Yannick's group, given that Yannick's money was still in Julie's hands. In the end, with desperation, Mady rushed to the station to save Julie. Mady is seen driving his car recklessly, provoking the police to chase him. The scene moves to Yannick and his men, who are already preparing near the station. After a while, Julie appears, so Yannick tells his men to follow her. At the same time, Mady is still trying to escape from the police. In the end, his car had an incident and rolled over. However, when the police approached Mady's car, they discovered that he had escaped. Mady ran towards the station while the police continued to try to chase him. Back to Yannick's men, who are now following Julie. They are just waiting for the right time to stab Julie and take her money. Shortly after, Mady saw Julie and immediately called her. However, at the same time, the police shot at Mady. As a result, Yannick and his men's plan to kill Julie failed. Meanwhile, Mady fell down helplessly. After the incident, people started filming and protesting the shooting. They were angry because, once again, the police acted violently by shooting a black man. We know that last night's demonstration took place as a form of protest against the police, who are often racist towards black people. But now, it's happening again. At the end of the film, Julie is shown to be safe and about to leave for Amsterdam. Meanwhile, Mady is seen, apparently still having survived the shot.